There's one thing that is forever evolving, and that is energy. Now, if energy is everything, including ourselves, then that means we are forever changing. Now, the more that we evolve into upgrading civilization and really tapping into our true intelligence, the more we realize that this is not just a physical world. This is an energetic spiritual world. And there's something underneath the surface that we do not see that's actually starting to control ourselves in every aspect of our life if we don't choose to become aware of ourselves. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because since everything is forever changing and it's actually equipping us or actually distracting us in our individual lives, then what is happening is that underneath the surface, if that energy is forever changing and we are not cooperating with it, it will show up in areas of our life, especially when it comes to relationships. And on today's episode, I want to share with you guys 10 spiritual relationship facts that will not only help you see relationships differently, but it'll help you recognize that if everything is forever changing and I'm refusing to change, then it has nothing to do with your physical circumstances. It has everything to do with you having the lack of awareness of seeing where your spirit is at internally. And if we allow ourselves to become aware of the spirit that we are within ourselves, we can start realizing the bigger perspectives relationships have towards our evolvement, our growth, and our change. So stay tuned to the very end, because everything I'm going to share with you not only will change your perspective on how you see relationships, but you'll start be able to think in a higher perspective even about yourself. What is Gooch, beautiful beings? Welcome back, AwakenOnes, on another episode on Embracing Essential Series with your homegirl, Brittany Fontanez. If you're new to this channel, so glad to have you here. If you've been on this journey with me so far, gang, only love, you know who you is. On this channel, I am an energetic activator, here to assist you to awaken things you have yet to see. And also, I do render services and merch, and I also have a healing course, and I'm now on Spotify at Mystifying Reality Podcast. You could go check all that out. Link will be description in my bio, my merch, my Etsy shop, and directly to my Spotify account. And just subscribe to me, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy content like this, because I know a lot of people in this world are starting to wake up and realizing we're fed so much information, but we're starving for wisdom. Now, I'm not saying my way is the right way and the only way. I am saying this is a way that's helped me awaken and to really feel whole and complete and safe within existence and within myself. And I feel like it might assist you guys. Now, on today's episode, I'm excited to share with you 10 spiritual relationship facts that you probably have awakened to, but really wasn't able to organize it, and really starting to understand the complexity, but also understand the true higher perspective of why is it relationships are the way that they are today, and how they affect us, and actually how they are assisting us. Now, I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of my backstory. You know, I was grown up into this lifetime always being a people pleaser, always overgiving, always being codependent, overextending myself. I did not know my worth. And because of this, I walked into relationships thinking I always had to save people. And I always will come out with the shit under the stick, or disappointed, or abandoned, or in my early ages, I didn't know about healing, so I was really resentful. I was really hateful. I became what I did not heal, and I became what I did not see. And when I started to become aware of what it is that was not assisting me, I started to change who I am. And I still was receiving that pattern of getting a different face, but the same energy within a person, and always led me down the path of true self-love, but also recognizing my wounds, my abandonment wounds, my insecurities, my heartbreaks, my disappointments. Realizing what relationships have taught me had shown me what this journey of self-love and self-discovery is all about. And it's crazy to think that a lot of people are wanting relationships because, well, let's be honest, we are influenced into this, but this is why it's important that we have to think for ourselves. But we are influenced to always seek out that one, to always have that relationship, to always feel needed, to feel worthy. And we think when we have that person by our side, we are worthy, we are confident, we are capable of so much more than we currently see ourselves. So because of this, we're indoctrinated to believe that we are not complete. And there's another part of us out there that we need to look for. But when we look through this lens, we look through the state of lack. Leo. Cute ass corgi I'm taking care of. He's a fucking cutie. But since we're indoctrinated to believe this, we're always on the journey of seeking ourselves within another. And this is where the lens of lack and low self-worth come into play. Because we're always looking from a state of wounding, from a state of we don't have, or the state of we are missing out. But the reality is, what if everything we were taught about that was teaching us how to separate ourselves? And every time we get into a relationship and we face disappointment, we always want to blame that other person and make ourselves a victim and take lack taking accountability for what it was trying to teach us. And this is what I want to share with you today. If you are on this journey of recognizing how things have a deeper meaning than they physically present themselves within your eyes, then that means there is a deeper and hidden meaning behind everything that you experience and everyone that you encounter and everyone that you have a connection with. But today I'm going to just have a focal point on relationships, because I know a lot of people, especially people who awaken to their spirituality, who awaken to their gifts, who awaken to beyond what we were told in the society to think for themselves, you recognize these patterns when it comes to relationships. And not only that, since I've been through this, I can speak on it. And the fact that I'm on this spiritual journey, I recognize how it's more impactful. When you're more self-aware, everything is so much more impactful, to the point that you can either fall victim to it, or you could either take power from it. And that's what I want to share with you guys, how to take your power back and start to see relationships as a way to not gain power over someone else, but to gain the power to love thyself and go on the journey of discovering thyself and actually enjoy the experience. But you first got to experience the heartbreaks, experience the disappointments, in order to enjoy the experience of recognizing and remembering who you are. Now, let's get into the first sign, the first fact of spiritual relationships, and that is, here's the crazy thing, you guys. Since we're going to get in depth, a lot of you may not understand what I'm going to say. It may resonate with a lot of you, may not. But take what resonates and leave what does not. Because I'm going off of an esoteric perspective, because I do believe we'll reincarnate. I do believe that we choose our soul path, our soul mission, and our lessons. So everything I'm going to share with you is going to sound very esoteric. But if it resonates, then your soul is recognizing it and starting to remember. So the first fact about spiritual relationships is that before you were born, you chose your parents because they were the perfect indicator to learn your main soul lesson. Now, I'm going to get into, I've done a lot of, what's that called? Akashic record readings on me, sessions. I met with a lot of shamans that went into my past life. And the most recent past life I had very two recent ones. I was majority of a man in most of my past lives. A lot of people would not believe that, but I kind of understand it, why I'm so masculine in myself. But so in my past life, my recent past life, I knew and I started to understand when I learned this is why I chose my parents, and this is why I'm experiencing the lessons I am within relationships. In my past life, I lived in poverty. I was a man who lived in poverty. I had a wife and I had kids. And when I was alive, I was very intelligent, very wise, to the point I was the leader of my community in my village. But I ended up falling in love with the princess, the royal princess. That didn't turn out well because I was being hunted down to be executed. And I lived in the cave for the rest of the majority of my time before they found me and actually hung me. And I'm sharing all this with you guys because my lesson in that lifetime that I needed to learn in this lifetime, because I believe we reincarnate to clear out past karma. And I know in that life I did cheat on my wife. I wasn't kind. I was not kind. And then a more distant past life where I was a female for once. But that one I was trafficked. So that really represents my self-worth in this current life. And I'm sharing all this with you guys because in my current life, the parents that I chose had to teach me the lesson of facing abandonment, of facing rejection, of facing my low self-worth, and how to rise out of that. And my parents have taught me that even though they were not there, even though they didn't show the love that I needed, of feeling like there was nothing wrong with me, I had to learn that on my own. And now I understand why I get that reflection in relationships, why I feel like I always have to overgive, overextend, because I had to learn the lesson to know my worth and never to lower my standards or my boundaries, but to understand how lovable I am. It's crazy how intelligent we are that we don't remember all the lessons that our soul has accumulated, but we reincarnate so we can remember, so we can enhance the power that already lies within us. So that is the first fact. Spiritual fact about relationships is that you chose your parents because they were the perfect characters to help you learn your main soul lesson. Now let's get into the second fact. The second fact is everyone that crosses your path when it comes to relationships is either a mirror, teacher, or expander. Now, I started to learn this in my last relationship, which was like 5 years ago. I would say about 6 years ago. But it was vital for me to start understanding that I needed to stop judging. And crazy how everything I'm sharing with you is teaching you about yourself and teaching you how to love yourself better in order to receive love and get love. So when I started to learn this, that I needed to stop judging, I needed to stop ridiculing, I needed to stop demonizing, because I did that in a lot of relationships. I was very controlling and I was very aggressive, very in my toxic masculinity, to the point I was putting my lovers down. And then as I grew out of that, my lovers started to put me down. So it's like I started to see the shift from being so toxic into being a healthy version and higher version of myself, and how like the lessons start changing. The lessons start changing. The gift starts changing. So the more I started to recognize, to stop judging, to stop ridiculing, the more I started to see that in my outer reality, not because of reflection of myself, because of the light, that my light was attracting lower dense energies within people. And I started to realize that, wow, everyone is a guide in my life. We have to understand everyone we encounter is a guide in our life. They could be a guide by triggering us, inspiring us, or activating us. Now, when it comes to toxic relationships, when you feel like that person's belittling you, not giving you enough effort, not giving you enough attention, not giving you that love that you want, that you want that reciprocation in return, they're really reflecting to you what is it within inside of yourself that you are lacking to see. Now, if you just come across a stranger and they give you the most insightful, mindful advice that your heart needed, that was, what would you call it? That was a teacher. Now, an expander is someone who activates you. And that could be a lover. That could be a lover that makes you feel so safe. Like, wow, I never experienced this type of energy before. But it could all intertwine into multiple ways. Either relationships, friendships, or just acquaintances. But regarding relationships, you encounter three types of people. People who mirror your wounds and the good reflection of you. The teacher, someone who's willing to teach you and you're able to teach them. And third of all, the activator, the expander, someone who is here to help you grow and elevate. And the crazy thing is, you guys, you can be with these people and not be with these people, but they're still here as a guide for you. So that is the second fact of a spiritual relationship, is that everyone you encounter is a guide, either an expander, mirror, or a teacher. It just depends on what you need in that moment in time. Now let's get into the third fact of spiritual relationships, and that is the people who trigger you are helping you heal. You wouldn't know where you're not yet free if it wasn't for them. That is beautiful. That is the third fact, is that someone who triggers you is helping you see parts of yourself that need to be outgrown, that need maturing, that need deflecting and a purging out. Because you will never know what you want in life unless you are triggered by the things you don't want. And if you encounter someone who gives you what you don't like and what you don't want, they're just showing you yet what it is you need to realize about what it is you truly deserve. And that's what I realized in my own life. I encountered people that just kept putting me on the back burner, kept bypassing me, making me a second option. But the more I started to really understand that this was teaching me, the more I delve into understanding what is self-worth, what is self-love, what is boundaries, what is it to stop being a people pleaser. Started really to emerge with a better version of me now, rather than allowing myself to be the victim towards that heartbreak. Because you guys, I used to be such a clinger. I would hang on, think about that person from the past for so long, to the point it would distract me from my purpose, from my life. And now that I got to a place where I can't allow that anymore, because I have power over my thoughts, my emotions, and my energy, then once I started to realize that it was only here to help me grow, it wasn't here to traumatize me. And that's the importance we have to learn, is that we have to be able to take accountability rather than play the victim. Because accountability helps you gain your power back. Victimization helps you stay in that energy that is not assisting your growth. So that is the third fact. People who trigger you are teaching you the parts of you that are yet not healed or free, for help you recognize what is going to help you be free and feel whole. Now, the fourth fact, people will treat you how you treat yourself. You know, a lot of us don't understand this, is because we put all of our energy on other people and lack energy on ourselves. But the more that I started to do, like really connect to my higher power, my creator, what I consider everyone's creator, but depending on your beliefs, the more I connect to my spirituality, my morning routine, my night routine, my intentions, the more I started to recognize the patterns that I have of how I treat myself and how I talk to myself. And I would catch myself. I'd be like, are you judging that girl? Are you jealous? You know, I would catch myself on these things, you guys. Or is it that when something goes wrong and I start criticizing myself, I would catch myself and I realize, whoa. The relationship I have with my inner world and how my inner world speaks to me is how I'm getting that reflection in my outer reality. And a lot of us don't understand this, but in order to understand this, we have to focus on how our body feels. I do have a meditation that is called the frame technique that helps you connect to each chakra. I'm going to leave it up here for you guys. That meditation, it's about a framework. So you're looking at a candle flame, and as you're looking at it, you're separating yourself. So you're feeling you're inside your body, but you're separating yourself from your outer reality. And as you breathe out, you're connecting to your outer reality. So you're connected to yourself, then connected to life outside of you. And since doing this, I started to feel more inside my body, to the point that I could stop thinking about things and people, stop like distracting myself, and become more focused. And in doing that, it feels like I'm revitalizing my own internal energy and gaining my power. So in doing that, you guys, and really focusing inside your body, really focusing on your thoughts, detaching from that inner critic and detaching from the outer world, you start to observe the hidden essence inside of you that's really the observer of everything. And it's crazy how this works out, but I say this because you will never, ever, ever be treated the way that you want to unless you realize how you treat yourself. And I'm going to put a short up on Instagram soon about, you can never feel alone if you enjoy the company that you have, and that is with yourself. But in order to do that, you have to face the resistance that's making you disconnect from yourself. And a beautiful saying that I found out yesterday by myself, with my higher self, and that is, what was it? What was it? Is that the devil is chaos and God is stillness. The devil is distraction and God is stillness. I know I worded differently, but in saying that, the inner power that you're looking for to have control over your life is within you. And the power outside of you that's distracting you from connecting with yourself is outer reality. So you can't change your outer reality until you change your inner reality. All right, let's get into number 5. This one is a big one, you guys. Heartbreaks are the best heart openers and one of the best and fastest ways to connect to your higher self. This has been the most beautiful experience on my journey. Yes, I've been through a lot of heartbreaks, been through a lot of disappointment, been through a lot of abandonment. And I went to a Reiki practitioner not too long ago, and she said that, she's like, I could tell you faced a lot of abandonment in your life. And recently in therapy, I did have to face one of my biggest traumas that started that abandonment wound. And I've been on this journey of self-healing to heal my heart. And I do have that frame technique that I just told you guys about. My meditations are always about connecting to my heart, because I know that's where all my love is. That's where the generosity of the kind human being that I am comes from, but also the fierce warrior that is courageous, that could take risk and knows that it has a higher purpose is. The more that I connect to my heart, the more that I have to go through all these heartbreaks and learn to forgive them. And there are times where I'm just like, damn, that happened to me. Just forgive it. Just forgive it. But I say this because this is a big spiritual fact when it comes to relationships, is that heartbreaks are the best heart openers. Because if you look at when a heart is broken, yeah, you can look at the cracks, but look beyond it. You could break through. Wouldn't it be more beautiful to break through a heartbreak? Because it's actually here to shed out the old layers that don't serve you, that aren't who you are anymore. And that helps you connect to the higher elevation of who you are, which is the higher intelligence that lies within you, that is asleep, that's ready to connect with you, help you heal, help you love, help you connect, to help you recognize the abundant, prosperous, loving power that lies within you. I know that's a lot to take in, but that is the 5th fact, is that heartbreaks are heart openers to help connect to your higher self and the higher version of who you're meant to be. Now, the 6th fact is when you walk away from a relationship without learning the lesson from it, you recreate the same lesson in a different person. I know a lot of people experience this, where they call it a karmic or the bad twin. But I'm here to be real honest with you guys. If you walk out of a relationship and you blame it on the other person, why is it that you feel worthless? Why is it that you feel unlovable? Yes, I understand we have to grieve. We have to feel these emotions, a part of the process. The lower vibrational emotions are part of the process. But when you lack learning your end of the relationship, you give power away to that person and to that experience, to the point it can have a toll on you. This is why a lot of people can't let go of relationships, even if it's past 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, is because they lack learning the lesson from it, because they want to stay that stagnant energy. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of us, we see control not in a way of aggression, but we see control as a way of hanging on. People find their control from running away, hanging on, holding on too tightly, or not speaking up. There's odd, subtle ways that we try to find control. And when we lack learning the lesson of our end of the relationship, that experience ends up having control over us, to the point that if we believe that we don't care about it, we care about it a lot. If we believe we care too much about it, maybe we don't care about it that much, And so it's important to understand, when you walk away from a relationship, Learn your end of the relationship. Understand why it ended. Understand how it led up to the moment. Understand how you acted. Understand the beginning, the middle, the end, your perspective, your personality traits, how you acted, how you treated them, how they treated you. Because in doing so, you're reflecting upon what is it that you do not want to repeat. But we can't change what we're not aware of. So if you walk out of a relationship wanting to jump into a new one, guess what? I'm going to be real blunt with you. It's going to be nice in the beginning, but it's going to end the same way it ended like the last one. And probably may be worse, because you're only prolonging the growth and maturity and the emotional intelligence you're meant to gain, because you want to satisfy and soothe the void within yourself. Just being blunt with you guys. I had to give myself so much tough love. This is why I'm at a place where I feel so whole and complete that I don't need anyone. But when the next person comes in, yo, yeah, I'm going to be ready, but I'm also going to be very aware of all the things I have learned so I don't repeat the same pattern. So that is number 6, you guys. Learn the lesson when you walk away from the relationship and reflect. That's the only way you can actually heal to the point you can attract a healthier connection rather than jumping into a new one with the same wounds and same baggage. Because we all have baggage, but if you go in not unpacking your baggage with yourself first, then you're putting on the responsibility of your own happiness onto someone that doesn't deserve that responsibility, and it's not up to them to have that responsibility. All right. Now, number 7, the sole purpose of relationship is to assist you in your next steps of healing. What else did I write? I got so much notes here. Yep. So let me say that again. Number 7, the sole purpose of relationships is to assist you in your next steps of healing, not to complete you or make you happy. They will just reflect your already existing happiness and add to it. Yes, you guys, yes. So that's why I wanted to share this video with you guys, is because relationships are here to assist you in your next steps of healing. I understand that we could grow a lot of our own, but a lot of people have this delusional thought that relationships are meant to only bring you peace. Your relationships are going to trigger you the most, and here is why. Is because a person who's completely different from you is going to show you sides of yourself that you never knew before or never seen before. Because yes, we could grow on our own, but there are parts of ourselves that we can't see that others see. Why do you think that we attract, like a lot of empaths attract narcissists? Because our light attracts moths. That's just how it is. But we don't see that because we're not aware of ourselves. But when we get into relationships, we have no choice but to be aware of ourselves. Or you could be the runner or the avoider and not want to face your shit, not want to take accountability, let's just be honest. But if you are the person who wants to take accountability, who wants to grow something healthy, who can have intense conversation, who can really go to the next step no matter how hard it is because they have the courage to know what love takes, then you will have the ability to see that relationships are here to help you grow. And that's the thing. They really are here to help you see parts of yourself that you're not aware of, in order to become aware of those things and change them to help you get to the higher version of yourself. So relationships are here to help your evolvement, not here to complete you or make you happy. They're here to reflect to you, to mirror to you, to teach you, to guide you, and to expand you in the parts of yourself that you already see that is ready for the next level in your evolution. So this is big, you guys. It's big, man. Everything I'm sharing with you, this is just big shit. I'm just going to be real blunt. That's why we have to be really mindful and intentional of the relationships we have and who we interact with. Because little do we know, we're not only receiving the loving parts or the potentiality of what we want to see for that person, we're seeing the energy behind them. We're receiving their insecurities, their manipulation, or their residue, or their low self-esteem, or their inconsideration. We're literally receiving a part of a person's energy within our own. So it's very, very important that you become aware of yourself so you don't have energy projected onto you and make you forget yourself. A whole point of relationship is to help you remember who you are meant to be, not dismantle your spirit and forget who you are. So let's get into number 8. There are about 50 people in your life that you guys keep reincarnating together, playing different roles like father, daughter, mother, son, husband, and wife, PB and J. But This is a very interesting fact that I found out, is that your parents, your family, your cousins, your friends, people you are close with, you already have reincarnated with them many, many, many lifetimes. But they come in many different forms and different shapes. And I know there's a lot of people that I've experienced this with. And there are a lot of creators that I follow that experience this too, is that there are particularly 50. And I guess why 50 is because the number 5 is about change and 0 is about completely newness, like oneness. So it's just like complete change in the wholeness of who you are. So it makes sense why it's 50 people, but you'll reincarnate with these people until you find, it's not about the soul recognition. It's about finally learning the lesson of why you guys keep reincarnating. This is why in relationships, a lot of people have karmic individuals and karmic partners, because those karmics are here to teach you what it is that you need to release and let go of. That's all it is. And then when you have a person who like really is resonating with your soul and is at that energetic level that you're at, then that person is here to help you love yourself more and expand to the best version of you. The karmic teaches you how to see what it is you lack within yourself, while in the higher partner, the divine partner, the divine unionship, that partner is here to help you expand and see the potentiality that you have yet to see within yourself. So it all equates in the same way. But reincarnation is so interesting, you guys. Let's just be real. But let's get into number 9. The people who hurt you the most in this lifetime are most likely your best friends, your parents, or whoever you're close with. Because on the other side, they volunteer to play the villain role for you to go through the experiences that you signed up for and for your soul's evolution that you agreed to it. So what I mean by this is that, listen, you guys, I'm in my villain era right now. I feel like a lot of people pleasers are in their villain era right now. And what I mean by this is that we're not tolerating bullshit. We're not tolerating people walking all over us. We're not tolerating who we used to be into the next version of who we know we are meant and want to be. Because I say this in this way is because if you realize your family are your biggest karmic lessons. Your family are your biggest karmics. Your lovers, your biggest karmics. Your friends are your biggest karmics, because they're not here to help you remain the same. And if they want you to stay where you are, they don't want what's best for you. But there are family members who are here to help you expand. Like I said, everyone is guides. But what I mean by a lot of people pleasers are in the villain era is because a lot of us, we trigger people. I know I trigger motherfuckers to grow. I know I trigger motherfuckers to see their shadow, but I also activate people to be inspired to turn their pain into power. I know the power that I hold, but a lot of us don't understand that since we're all guides to each other, we're either the villain or the hero in people's story. And what's important is that you do not get attached. I'm just going to be real honest with you guys. It's important. I know we're human. I know we get attached to our families, to our friends, to our lovers. But it's so important to recognize that when you learn the art of detachment, I'll leave a video up here about that. When you learn the art of attachment, you start to realize that no one is ever your enemy. No one is ever your enemy. They're just a reflection of you making yourself your own enemy. They're just a reflection of you to see that you're your own hero. So everyone who actually hurts you is actually helping you to see what is it that you should no longer tolerate or entertain. And those who assist you and help you are here to see what it is that you deserve. So you guys, your family, your friends are your biggest, and lovers are your biggest karmic relationships. They're here. If they're here, how can I say this? What are you trying to make me say, sir? If they're here and they have hurt you, they're only trying to help you and be a volunteer for you to elevate, for you to not remain the same. That's really all it is. All right, you guys. And I would say that the reason why you agreed to this, a lot of us don't remember that we made a contract. We signed a contract to agree to this. I know, it sounds weird. It sounds really weird. But think about it this way. Would it be fun if you don't learn how to understand this process of the evolution of who you are? would it really be fun to have everything that your soul has went through? To have the gifts, to have the potentiality, to have the remembrance of it? Would it be fun to have it immediately once you're born? No, it wouldn't. What would be the point of this existence? There would be no point of this existence. So we wouldn't need to exist. But we exist and we forget so we can remember, because that is the best feeling in the world. When you start to remember who the fuck you are, there's nothing more exciting than getting connected to that version of yourself that has remained asleep. And you agreed to all this to help you awaken that part of you that is ready to be reborn, that is ready for you to elevate, that is ready for you to manifest the life that you deserve and what you fucking know that in your heart you're meant to be. So, little do you know, you agreed to these people to be the villain or to be the bad guys, or to be the ones to help trigger you, to awaken to you, for you to awaken to the part of you that you have yet to see. Because in doing so, you are learning how to elevate, and they understand this. Their human form may not, but their soul does. So, number 10. Let me go back, actually. This is a clear example of you agreed to this when you start awakening that people are here to trigger you so you can learn how to love yourself. This is a clear indication of someone who gets into a new relationship and they feel good about themselves because they've done the inner work, and the ex comes back. It's always an indication like that. Or the one that got away. It's because we're elevating. If the past comes back and you're starting to see that they were part of your evolution to grow, it is not for you to fall victim back into that situation or experience it. It's really here to show you, are you ready to level up? That's all it is. All right, you guys, let's get into the last and final one. You're ready for this. The last and 10th spiritual fact about relationships is the people who trigger you the most, they are mirroring aspects of yourself that you're either denying or suppressing. Now, like I said before, relationships are here to help us grow, help us elevate, help us see part of ourselves that we do not see, help us expand, help us see our potential, help us learn to love ourselves and face our abandonment wounds, or help us recognize the love that we have within ourselves and learn how to share it and not fear it. But other than that, since relationships are here to help us grow, we have to understand that the reason why we are so triggered in relationships is because there's part of our soul that we are denying and neglecting. A lot of us, the reason I have to do a video on this, on like what triggers are trying to teach you, because triggers and pain and heartbreak have been one of the most liberating experiences I've had on my journey, because I've been through so much and I've seen so much shit, not even just physically, but on the spiritual plane as well. And going through all of these lessons, these soul lessons, I've really started to fall in love with this journey, because I have never found so much more clarity and enlightenment if it wasn't for pain, if it wasn't for heartbreaks, and if it wasn't for triggers. Because I started to realize when they say everything you need is within you, it's so fucking true, you guys. Everything you need is within you. Everything. When it comes to a solution for a problem, when it comes to grieving and healing, when it comes to distraction into clarity, when it comes to resentment into compassion, when it comes to hatred into love, you guys, all the opposing force that we think is evil and dark, that we want to run away from, that feels uncomfortable, I've learned to embrace these parts, these low vibrations, these experiences, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't not only be proud of who I am, but I wouldn't know the wisdom that I have today to be so, not on guard or cautious, but to be so awaken, to see the bullshittery of the world, but to also see the beautiful aspects of it. You guys, we can't praise angels and deny demons. We just can't. We can't praise God and not understand the opposing force of God, which is the enemy. We just can't. So realizing that triggers are part of the process, and this is how you gain massive maturity and emotional intelligence and mastery over self. When you allow yourself to get triggered and allow it to bring you down the rabbit hole of your own psyche and your own being, you're allowing yourself to become the one out of a million that choose to stay asleep. You choose to awaken, because self-love requires awakening. Self-discovery requires awareness. And happiness requires the embracing of this ascension process, of this human but spiritual vessel. So I say all this because when someone in a relationship triggers you, they're only trying to awaken to a part of you that you're denying and suppressing. You're either denying your potential when someone belittles you, or you're denying the lovable aspect about you of someone who's not giving to you the way that you want them to give to you. So you guys, everything I share with you today is just here to help you recognize that relationships are not here to torment you. They're not here to complete you. They're here to teach you. They're here to help you. But when you allow yourself to be so open-minded, when any relationship you get into without holding on, without getting attached, without, expecting immediately, when you allow yourself to be open, you allow yourself to engulf in the curiosity of others and this life, but also the curiosity of yourself. Don't go into relationships seeking satisfaction. Yes, you deserve that. You deserve a sense of love that makes you feel safe. But go into relationships recognizing no matter what happens, I'm going to get what I need out of it. Always. And the need that you're always going to get out of it is a higher level of self-love, self-discovery, and self-awareness. If it wasn't for all these heartbreaks I went through, I wouldn't have discovered my spiritual gifts. If it wasn't for all these disappointments and abandonment of people that I put all my effort to, I wouldn't know how to enjoy my own company. And now that I do, it's like, I don't really want anyone. I don't really need anyone. It would be nice, but it's just like I am not empty anymore. And that is my goal for you guys. I don't want you to feel empty on this journey with yourself. I want you to feel whole. I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel worthy. I want you to feel loved. Because at the end of the day, when you could feel this in a silent room with a cup of tea with yourself, then you'll realize nothing is ever missing. Because you're exactly who you need. You're exactly what you want. And you're exactly where you feel like you're meant to be. So other than that, you beautiful beings, that's all I wanted to share with you today is 10. Hi, beautiful. How are you? Why are you so precious? I'm taking care of 2 dogs and 2 cats, and I am in heaven right now. But other than that, beautiful beings, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, if it assisted you, please let me know your feedback in the comment section below. Please hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and also go check out my merch and all my services that I render. But other than that, you guys, I love you dearly. I really hope this guided, assisted, and activated you in any way, shape, or form. But until then, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Only love.